So today's topic is about a very interesting nootropic compound called 3-CPM. 3-CPM stands for 3-chlorophenmetrazine, and we're going to discuss what makes it very interesting, how it can be utilized, what are its benefits, and what are some of its side effects, and how you can mitigate those side effects. So 3-CPM also it belongs to a class of synthetic stimulating drugs known as phenylmorpholine. You can also call it a substituted phenmetrazine analog, as 3-chloro is the substituted part and phenmetrazine is the ending of the drug name. That is the main active compound that we have substituted here. So let me give you a bit of a history on this phenmetrazine. So phenmetrazine was first discovered in early 1950s, and that's when it started being used for appetite suppression. It was widely used during that time, and it was available over the counter. However, later it was taken off shelf because of widespread abuse. After its removal, its designer cousins started appearing in the market. One of the most popular one of them is 3-FPM, 3-fluorophenmetrazine. This was pretty similar to 3-CPM, but it was more stronger in what it was doing. However, in 2021, around 2021, that's when China busted down on its research compound market. That's when 3-FPM went out of most of the Canadian market. So 3-CPM is currently available, and it's the next best thing to 3-FPM. So 3-CPM, let's talk about some of its benefits. So let's first start briefly by comparing some of the more contemporary or classic stimulants and see how 3-CPM stand against them. So first off, we have Adderall and Ritalin. Both of them are pretty famous drugs. But in comparison, Adderall and Ritalin, one of the benefits you will see with 3-CPM is its tolerance buildup is very slow. So you can take one dose and expect it to work on you the other day. Adderall and Ritalin, the tolerance catches up pretty fast. Doesn't happen next day, but it happens pretty soon. And within few months of continuous use, you will find yourself dosing pretty large amount of Adderall and Ritalin compared to how you started. But with 3-CPM, that's not the case. You can keep dosing pretty relatively low and yet reap benefits even after a month of continuous use. When it comes to addiction potential, definitely we all know you do not immediately get addicted to stimulants. It's just fear mongering that taking a single dose of Adderall or single dose of Ritalin will make you addicted to that compound. This doesn't work that way. There are a lot of people that are put on Adderall for 2 or 3 years at a time, and when the Adderall is removed, they do not struggle that much, and they don't get addicted to this compound. So getting addicted only happens if you keep ramping up the dose and start taking very high doses of it for a very long period of time. That's when your dopaminergic system will get desensitized and you will have withdrawal symptoms. But when it comes to 3-CPM, it has even less potential for addiction, almost negligible, I would say, because it is a mild agonist for serotonergic system and pretty strongly for dopaminergic system. But this mild agonism of serotonin receptor system is what makes it less addictive than some of the other stimulants. And now let's compare it with modafinil. So modafinil is a wakeful promoting drug. What it does, it increases histamine value in your brain, and histamine promotes wakefulness. So that's just a short introduction of what it does. I don't want to go too deep into modafinil. So in comparison to modafinil, 3-CPM have a half-life of 3 to 6 hours, while modafinil lasts for 8 to 10 hours. And drawback of modafinil is a potential for causing severe allergic reaction in those who are susceptible for it, whereas in 3-CPM there's no such problem. So that's another big point that 3-CPM has. Last thing that is really good about 3-CPM is its availability. As it's a research compound, One of the biggest benefit is that it is not yet FDA approved. So you can still source it relatively easy. Whereas if you try to source Adderall, for that matter, it would be, we all know it would be much harder. Another benefit of this compound is its productivity. It is very productive and it has little to no euphoria for users. It's ideal for those who are seeking more productivity without jitteriness or without being high. So that's one more benefit of this compound. So let's talk about some of its side effects. First up is hypertension. Hypertension is a state where your heart rate is elevated and your blood pressure is elevated, and it is commonly seen with stimulating drugs. When it comes to 3-CPM, you don't have to worry about it taxing your cardiovascular system. It's very generous on it. But if you're still concerned, you can incorporate propranolol. It's a beta blocker that lowers your heart rate and your blood pressure and your stress levels, allowing you to have a much smoother experience of stimulation. The half-life of propranolol is 8 hours in itself, and this makes it a perfect candidate to be pairing with any of your regular stimulants such as Adderall, Ritalin, or 3-CPM for that matter. The next side effect that I wanted to talk about is dry mouth. It is again commonly seen with a stimulating drug or any of the drugs that have anything to do with your cholinergic system. There is no known cure for a dry mouth, but what you can do is keep yourself well hydrated throughout, and this should mitigate dry mouth to some degree. Next up is insomnia. Insomnia only happens to those who multi-dose, basically taking multiple doses and their last dose being way too close to evening time, which causes them sleep-related issues. The best way to mitigate insomnia would be to just not take your last dose close to evening. Be mindful of that when you are taking multiple doses. Next up is appetite suppression. Now this can be both positive and negative. Positive if you are looking to have more focus during your workouts and wanted to lose weight at the same time. Its appetite suppressing property will come really handy for you. Its appetite suppressing strength can be compared to yet another famous appetite suppressor known as desofense. Now let's talk about how it can affect you negatively. If you're already a pretty skinny guy and you have been using 3-CPM for a long period of time, you might find yourself underweight and nutritionally deficit. So you want to avoid this side effect. The easiest way is to keep yourself well fed and well hydrated. Let's talk about dosing. So friends, one of the biggest drawback of using research compound is that it's very hard to know what the exact dosing should be. So we have to rely on anecdotal reports of other users when it comes to dosing. So 30 to 60 milligram is considered light dose for this compound. 100 to 150 milligram is considered moderate dosing, and anything above 150 milligram is considered as mega dosing. From my personal experience, 150 milligrams seems to be the right dose for most of the people. So that was all about 3-CPM, guys. Please do like this video and leave a comment for the algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe because I have bangers of content planned for this channel. So you don't want to miss out on that. See you guys soon in the next video.